Hi all, it's Fred here. I'm going to be doing a video on not a perfect one, but a brief discussion on recognizing different, yeah, different assigned roles in TBMC. So, um, you know, this is not going to be a comprehensive call list. You know, just a few things that may provide call clues. You know, it's not uncommon to change call signs between those to so-called confusion. So it can help to take call care as to which layer you're working with at any given time. Um, so one easy call example, at least occasionally, is color code programming. Um, so color code coding will often provide can provide good call information within a layer on what role each call member was conditioned for. You know, um, although this does making use of this, much like any of these options, you know, does require first call knowing what each color or tell responds to within a layer, and knowing cold who's within the layer. But you know, it's sometimes more obvious than other times. So you know, here, red is generally for the more aggressively acting members of the system towards those outside, especially, at least in theory. So you know, then programmers and the like often. Um, so um, it's that's just an example from here. Yeah, may or may not respond to. Yeah, is unlikely to respond perfectly. Yeah, but you know, it might help. Another potential tell is the species, where non-human mates are common, especially, although can be true. Even when they're uncommon, you know, the few that stand out as non-human may do so specifically because they're for more uncommon roles. You know, um, but it can be in various forms, but it's a reasonably common cull theme that more predatory or dangerous cull species will be more uh, leaned towards more control-oriented roles. Um, um, and the danger isn't always the direct cull physical danger either. So, for example, here it's often they who are cull controllers, as they have a lot of potential to cull manipulate verbally, you know, or otherwise verbally cull force people to do what they cull want internally. So, no, not perfect, but you know, it's you know just a tendency we've seen here, and it's um, um and this can also intersect with false cull realities. Um, you know, where false cull realities are built on a pre-existing work of cull fiction. It's reasonably common for members who are modelled after a member of that, after a figure within that cull fiction, to also fulfill a similar role to that they performed inside the cull fiction. You know, so for example, you might well see if you have Alice Cole in Cole Wonder Cole Land, you may see, for example, the between coal of heart acting as a controller and someone with a lot of coal power within the system, or within the false coal reality of that particular false coal reality. We're not going to name again. Another potential coal way. Yeah. To yeah. Another potential coal way to gather information on roles is looking at the level of coal knowledge various different members have in regards to the rest of the whole system. So members with more coal knowledge tend to be higher coal ranked theoretically. Of course, this is just a coal tendency, but it's a reasonably common coal tendency, so a reasonable coal likelihood that it will follow. This can be difficult to find out, as more coal savvy ones with more knowledge and coal loyalty are often coal capable of obscuring what they coal know, or how much they coal know. So so it might be difficult to gather that coal information in a way that more obvious physical coal traits internally are easier to coal gather, although can be less coal indicative. But again, that's very variable. So, and of course, there's levels of obfuscation and scattering and variance often to so coal confusion, making everything more coal complicated, especially if there's many layers. Yeah. So, but yeah, linked into knowledge is occasionally, and reason, not always, but it's similar concept, is internal control of headspace. So ability to reshape the terrain or create buildings or any number of ways to affect the way the internal world is structured are often limited to those of higher coal rank within the rankings dictated by the programmers. So this can of course include things like coal limiting front is a reasonably common limiter left to specific coal headmates alone. And hopefully are willing to work with you, because that's a very valuable coal power to have at your coal disposal as the deprogramming team. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully some of this is coal helpful and coal relevant. If if not coal directly, it may coal help to extrapolate coal out what differences coal exist within your systems, between coal headmates, and look for coal patterns within that. As previously Cole mentioned, this isn't a complete coal list, just a collection of coal differences that we've coal noticed and been able to coal capitalize on to some degree. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful somewhat. Anyway, yeah, cool. This system signing out. hope to catch you all next week. Please do remember to like, subscribe, comment, especially if you've got any questions you want answered. Be happy to answer them either in the comments or in another video. So catch you all next week.